Our next step, so the third step in the planning process, is to identify your target audience. Start by asking yourself, who am I trying to reach or motivate to act? Who can make my objective a reality by taking a specific action or changing a specific behavior? In other words, who has the power to give you what you want? It sounds a little crass, but at the end of the day, that is what it is about. So say, for example, you're trying to increase compliance of fishing rules within a marine reserve. The person you need to reach is likely a fisherman, fisherwoman. This is the person who decides that they're going to comply with a rule or not. But you may not want to reach out to them directly, and instead you may decide to reach them through an influential audience such as their spouse or partner, their children, other fishers, or perhaps a restaurant owner. These are all potential influential audiences. And the main point here is that whatever group you are reaching out to or communicating with, either the decision maker or an influential audience, this is your target audience. One group that is not your target audience is the general public. If we try to target everyone, we fail to target anyone. And you simply can't find a message that resonates with everyone. And the result is watered down messages that don't reach your target audience or motivate action. When it comes to target audiences, it's helpful to be as specific as possible. The smaller the target audience, the easier it is to create focused communications that will move them to action. So once you know who your target audience is, you need to learn about them. What do they think about your topic? What do they care about? What do they value? What do they want and enjoy? So we need to remember, and it seems obvious, but it's such an important reminder that different audiences see things differently. For example, here on the screen, a fisher likely values fish as food, where perhaps a scuba diver might value fish for aesthetics or recreation. Nothing better or worse about either point, they're just different perspectives. And this matters because people care more about an issue when it's packaged in a way that aligns with their values, concerns, and beliefs. So our job, or your job, is to show how your project is connected to the things that they already care about. And you do this to get their attention, and you do it to get their support. If your objective involves an action, and in most cases it will, and I would probably argue that it always should, then you need to consider potential barriers that may stop or delay your audience from taking action. For example, if you ask someone to properly dispose of a car battery, but the desired disposal method is inconvenient for them, maybe it's too expensive or the facility is too far away, the schedule doesn't work with their work schedule. These are all barriers that they need to overcome. So your job is to identify potential barriers and figure out creative ways to minimize them or provide incentives that make it worth it for your audience to take the action, even if it's inconvenient to them. In order to discover who your audience is, to find out what they care about, what they understand about your topic, demographics such as their education level or age, and potential behavior barriers, you need to do some research. Many of the same methods that are on this screen can be applied to assess and understand the context surrounding your topic. And I just put a few examples, and I'm sure the folks on the phone or on the webinar and participating in this course have lots of other powerful examples of ways to learn about your audience. But a few kind of standard ones, a simple one is to review existing research, so doing a lit review. What else, what's out there? How can you learn about your audience? Looking online, using Facebook social to understand demographics. Can also just do simple Google searches to understand what media, what people are saying online about your issue. Can conduct interviews, focus groups, surveys, public opinion research. And I put up here, talk with partners, colleagues, and community contacts, because so often I feel like when we're talking about conducting research, we always are visualizing formal research, and we can learn so much through the informal research as well. And a lot of times it's really just asking your target audience questions and getting out there If you're working in a small community or with a relatively small audience, one of the easiest ways to learn about them and about the issues surrounding your topic is to reach them directly. If you don't have a direct connection, you can solicit feedback or share your messages through someone with a more direct connection to them, such as maybe a friend of theirs, family member, acquaintance, or colleague. So I just want to stress here that it really is all about connections. If you're working in a larger community or city with a larger audience, these kinds of direct connections may not apply, and you may have to recruit the media or a well-respected messenger, which we'll talk about more in the second webinar.